By their sixth date, the connection between Obonna and Isioma had grown deeper, layered with unspoken emotions and lingering hopes. The dim lighting of the cozy restaurant cast a warm glow as Ubonna took a deep breath, looking across the table at Isioma. After so many failed relationships, he began, his voice twinged with vulnerability. I always prayed I would meet you again. I hoped you weren't married because I have always loved you. I didn't pursue you back then because I was focused on building my future and never wanted to ruin our friendship. His eyes held hers, unwavering as he continued. But when we met again and you said you were single, I felt like fate had brought us back together for a good reason, to ignite and complete our love story. He paused, his voice filled with emotion as he declared, I love you, Isioma. You're a wonderful woman, so beautiful in every sight, so smart, hardworking, and intentional. Any man who has experienced and shared love with you and doesn't marry you almost immediately is a fool. And I am not a fool. Reaching for her hand across the table, his gaze softened, brimming with sincerity. I want to make you mine. Isioma's eyes welled up as Ubonna poured his heart out. She could only smile through her misty gaze, unable to form words, completely swept up by his confession. I want you to be mine forever, Ubonna went on, his voice steady yet tender. So I can wake up every day by your side and thank God for the blessing that is you. So I am indeed making my intentions clear. That I didn't come to play with your heart, Isioma. I came to stay. That's if you would also welcome my stay so we can grow together and complete this love story. As his words hung in the air, Ubonna smiled, his eyes glistening with hope. Isioma, overwhelmed by the depth of his love, felt her heart tighten with an inexplicable mix of joy and guilt. The butterflies in her stomach fluttered wildly, yet she couldn't shake the heavy feeling of the secret she had been keeping from him. She wanted to confess, but found herself unable to speak. Instead, through tears, she whispered, I love you, her voice trembling with raw emotion. Everything was happening so fast. Ubonna, consumed by his love for Isioma and determined to make her his wife, decided to go all out. Under the pretense of offering her the managerial position at the newly opened Dubai branch, he flew her out to the stunning city. When Isioma arrived at the venue of the gala Ubonna had described, she was greeted by soulful sound of a live band playing a beautiful love song. The atmosphere was enchanting, but nothing prepared her for the sight of Ubonna, who was kneeling before her, holding out a ring. The emotions that washed over Isioma in that moment were overwhelming. She cried, her heart surging with the myriad of feelings she carried. Here was a man who loved her so openly, so deeply, so truly, and so tenderly. A man who cherished her for who she was, rather than what she could offer. As she gazed at Ubonna, she realized his love was therapeutic, slowly healing her from the traumatic experience that was Ikenna. She wanted to tell him. She wanted to tell him she did not deserve to harbor such a love like his. Because she was keeping secrets and not being true to him. Yet, Her voice betrayed her, leaving her unable to speak the truths that weighed so heavily on her heart. In the end, all she could manage was a stifled yes beneath her sobs. Ubona's joy was immense as he slid the ring onto Isioma's finger, his smile radiating with love and happiness. The lovebirds enjoyed a blissful dinner filled with heartfelt conversations about their engagement and dreams of the future. Ubona's love and excitement were palpable, while Isioma, though radiant with happiness, seemed slightly distracted, her mind lingering elsewhere. Later that evening, when she returned to her suite, Isioma picked up her phone and called her mother to share the wonderful news. Amaka, upon hearing the news, she burst into tears and broke into a joyful dance. Finally, yeah, finally, the Lord has done it. Finally. Ah, God, finally, you have shown your face upon my daughter again. Finally, my daughter has found peace. Finally, my daughter has found love. Ah, God, you are too good. God, I thank you. Oh, Amaka exclaimed, falling to her knees and raising her hands towards the heavens, her face glistening with tears of gratitude. Isioma's heart was warmed by her mother's overwhelming joy. After hanging up, she dialed her closest friend, Chioma, eager to share the news once more. Chioma's voice lit up with excitement as soon as she heard the announcement, celebrating along with her. However, Isioma's excitement turned into nervousness as she confided in Chioma about her biggest fear. She revealed her worry about keeping Onyinyechuku, her son, a secret from Ubonna. While she had rediscovered love in Ubonna's embrace, the fear of losing him over her hidden truth consumed her. Chioma, I'm scared, Isioma admitted with a shaky voice. I don't want to do anything that could ruin what Ubonna and I have. Keeping my son from him feels like the safest choice right now. What if he doesn't accept fully raising Onyinyechuku with me? What if he can't be the father my son deserves? Chioma's tone was steady and reassuring. Isioma, she said firmly, has Ubonna ever given you anything to make you doubt him? When you say things like this, it sounds like you don't fully trust him. Be honest with him. If he truly loves you, he will accept Onyinye and love him as his own. But Isioma couldn't shake her unease. And the weight of Chioma's words hung in the air, and the if echoed in her mind, stirring her fears even more. She wasn't convinced. Deep down, Isioma resolved she had to do whatever it took to secure her relationship, even if it meant keeping her secret a little longer. On one of their dates in Dubai, Isioma cautiously brought up a hypothetical scenario to Ubonna. My love, I want to ask you something. So there's this friend who has a child. She's engaged to a wonderful man, oh, but the man doesn't know that she has a child. And she's really scared that if she tells him, he might leave her. The child was from her previous marriage, and her ex-husband is no longer alive. He's dead. So this lady thought she would never find love again. But now she is happier than she has ever been. This man loves her so much and cherishes her, and he makes her feel so special. But she told me that the guilt of keeping her child away from him is eating her up. She doesn't think she deserves him because of the secret she's keeping. And I've been convincing her to be honest with him, oh, because I believe if he truly loves her, he will accept both her and the child. But you know how you men are. So I wanted to ask you, what will you do if you were the man in this situation? Isioma asked carefully. Well, it all comes down to trust. She doesn't trust that his love is enough to handle this without him walking away immediately. But I understand your point though. And yes, if he truly loves her, he would definitely stay and accept the child. However, keeping this kind of secrets can cause serious strain in their relationship and even end it, especially when we are talking about marriage here. So, if I were him, I would feel so betrayed by her. I couldn't marry someone who doesn't trust me completely. It just wouldn't work for me. I'm not sure about him though. Ubonna answered thoughtfully. I hope I've answered your question. And please, tell your friend to tell that man now. He answered, sounding concerned. Isioma was filled with anxiety. After their trip to Dubai, she started avoiding spending time with Obonna. He often asked her to join him for lunch, but she kept making excuses, saying she was too busy with work and couldn't meet him privately like they used to. At first, Obonna didn't think much of it, but by the third week after their engagement, he began to notice her pulling away. She no longer visited him on weekends, always coming up with one excuse or the other. Concerned about her behavior, Obonna decided to secretly follow her home after work one day. When Obonna arrived, he waited patiently for Isioma to enter before sneaking through the gate. Just as he was about to knock, Isioma opened the door, clutching a plastic bag of garbage. She froze, visibly startled by his presence. Surprise! Ubonna quipped with a grin. Ah, what are you doing here? How did you find me? Did you follow me? Isioma stammered in a panicked tone. Why are you acting like I'm a stranger? Aren't you happy to see me? Ubonna teased, his playful smirk intact. He glanced around and added with a chuckle. Wow, I don't even know what you're hiding. This neighborhood looks fine to me. Won't you invite me in? No, I mean yes. Yeah, but I don't live alone. I have a roommate. She's quite unfriendly and doesn't like visitors. We agreed to not host visitors. So I'm not sure you can come in. Isioma lied, stumbling over her words, her unease evident. Ubonna wasn't convinced and pressed on. Oh, come on now. I'm family. Your soon-to-be husband. Oh. Besides, I could give her some money to go out while I'm here. No, she's not feeling too well. Yeah, she's not feeling too well. Isioma's voice trailed off, her anxiety visibly growing. She jumped as a shrill cry of a baby erupted from within the apartment. She has a child, Ubonna asked, raising a brow. No, yes, Isioma faltered, the words sticking in her throat as she struggled to respond. A young girl came through the door, holding the wailing baby and said, Auntie, I don't know wetin dey worry your pikin o. I don't give am the cerelac wey you talk say make I give am, but he no gree. So I don't know wetin he wan chop o. She said casually, rocking the baby to pacify him. Bonna's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was befuddled and speechless. Isioma looked like she was about to have a heart attack, her eyes wide, mirroring Ubonna's shock. You have a child? Ubonna said, after what felt like eternity. As the baby wailed, he lifted his tiny hands, trying to reach out to his mom, Isioma, who said, Ebere, please take him inside and make him a bottle. I'm coming, Isioma said, panicking and sweating like a pig. Okay, auntie. Ebere took Onyinyechuku inside to pacify him as his cries only increased. You have a child? Isioma, you have a child? Ubonna yelled again. So you are the friend? Ah, Isioma, how could you? How could you deny your own child? You're a horrible mother. How could you keep him away from me, making me find out like this? Ubonna's voice was filled with anger, and tears streamed down his face. Isioma couldn't reply or meet his eyes. Her head hung low in shame. Now I get it, Ubonna continued, his voice shaking. I understand why you have been so distant, pushing me away, hiding your son from me, your own fiancé. I thought you said you weren't married. I was never married. It's complicated. I promise I will tell you everything you need to know, Isioma stammered. It's too late, Ubonna interrupted. It's too late, Isioma. I wasn't supposed to find out like this. Even if I want to hear you out, not right now. Not when you have betrayed me, making me feel like I don't matter to you. You don't trust me. If you would have told me from the start, I would have accepted him immediately. His voice filled with pain. I am sorry, Isioma cried, her voice breaking. I was scared. I was scared. I was so scared. I was terrified of losing you. And when you proposed, I knew I had to tell you, but I didn't know how to start. I'm so sorry. Her sobs echoed. Isioma's heart-wrenching cries pierced through the stillness of the neighborhood, drawing the attention of curious neighbors. No, 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 Ubonna exclaimed, shaking his head. You broke my heart, Isioma. You have broken my heart, my trust. I don't even know if I can ever trust you again. He looked at her, utterly defeated. I am sorry, Isioma pleaded, falling to her knees. Please forgive me. I am sorry. I am sorry. I am sorry, Ubonna, please. Ubonna didn't respond. He silently turned and walked away, leaving her there. Isioma's wails of despair filled the air as he disappeared. One by one, doors opened and heads turned as people stepped out, puzzled by the commotion. Whispers filled the air as they observed Isioma kneeling in despair, her sobs echoing down the street. Some stood silently, others exchanged glances, unsure of whatever to approach or simply watch the painful scene unfold. Ubonna, however, continued walking away, oblivious to the growing crowd behind him. The tension lingered as the neighbors tried to piece together the story hidden behind those anguished cries. Their relationship became so strained that Ubonna threatened to end it. He completely ignored Isioma at work and refused to see her whenever she came to apologize. Isioma was heartbroken and deeply regretted ruining one of the best things in her life. She regretted not trusting Ubonna. She wondered where she could find a man or love like Ubonna again. She decided to give him some space for a few weeks, especially after he drove her away and warned her never to come to his house again, threatening he might fully end the relationship. Ubonna was deeply hurt and avoided any form of contact with Isioma at work. He felt betrayed and gravely upset. Isioma had hidden such an important part of her life from him. This almost prompted him to breaking off their engagement. Despite this, Isioma didn't give up. She continued begging for his forgiveness, often showing up at his house after work, crying and pleading with him. Ubonna ignored her for a long time, but one day, he finally gave in and let her into his home. With a heavy heart, Isioma told Ubonna everything about her past with Ikenna and his family. She cried as she spoke, relieving the pain of those memories. Seeing her genuine sorrow, Ubonna couldn't help but cry too. He felt her pain so deeply that his anger and sense of betrayal faded away. His love for her grew stronger, and he felt a deep sense of responsibility to protect her heart from ever feeling such pain again. Ubonna forgave Isioma and embraced her child Onyinyechuku as his own. His only issue had been her dishonesty, but once they reconciled, their bond became even stronger. For weeks, Ubonna had been taking Isioma and Onyinyechuku on lovely family outings and picnics, creating beautiful memories together. Without delay, he approached Isioma's parents to formally ask for a hand in marriage. Amaka, who thought Ikenna's introduction gifts were extravagant, was taken aback by Ubonna's incredible generosity. He arrived with a truckload of gifts for the introduction ceremony, leaving her overwhelmed with joy. Amaka was ecstatic as she planned her daughter's wedding, grateful that God had blessed her family and brought happiness back into their lives. Though she carefully advised Isioma about marriage, she had no reason to doubt Ubonna's intentions, especially since Pastor Bless attended the introduction, offering his encouragement and blessings. The news quickly spread throughout the village that Amaka's only daughter, a single mother nearing her 40s, was marrying a billionaire. Some villagers were genuinely happy for Isioma, but many spread rumors and gossip. They speculated that she might be pregnant, claiming she must have trapped Ubonna with the child or used juju on him. These rumors spread like wildfire, reaching not only the village, but also the neighborhoods where Isioma had once lived. Eventually, the news made its way to Ikenna. He was now married, with a child and expecting triplets with his wife. At first, he dismissed the gossip, but everything changed when he saw photos of Isioma on social media, smiling and laughing with a man and his son, looking like a perfect family. After abandoning Isioma with their child, Ikenna had been confident that no other man would consider marrying her. Yet, the photos proved him wrong. Not only was Isioma engaged, but her fiancé was a billionaire that had established companies scattered across the country like toys. This realization filled Ikenna with a heavy heart, not with regret of his actions, but with a burning desire for vengeance and destruction.